You've had a bit of work done.
A bit. All that money that I kept from the marriage, I've used it. You know, no, I mean, I've had some of my eyes done, you know, and
are you happy with it, or
not really? Not. I mean, I'm really not. And I made a big deal. I have this theory about cosmetic surgery. You know, if you tell people, nobody cares. If you don't tell them and you hide it, they make much more out of it than it really is. Sure. I just, you know, wasn't available 20 years ago, and 20 years from now, it's not going to matter. So I just did it, you know.
Yeah, but are you going to change it, or are you?
No, I'm happy with. Yeah. You know, there's some things in the corner of my eyes that I'm not happy with. It's a small change, but it takes 3 or 4 weeks before I can go back in public and work. And I just haven't had 3 or 4 weeks.
You don't have the time.
I just haven't had it.
Now, tell me about the new album, Water and Bridges. And the first song is actually a very wistful song. It's about fathers and sons. It's about, you know, mistakes that people make.
Yeah, it's called Water and Bridges, and it's really about choices you make when you're young that you pay for when you're older.
Yeah.
And one of the examples is the young couple has an abortion. And as he looks back on it, he said, now that looking back on some of my decisions, now that it's much too late to change, how a father could have held his son if I could undo what's been done. But I guess everyone is living with water and bridges.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a wonderful piece of music.
Great song. The source of your songs, I mean, which writers do you like besides?
Well, you know, I tend to go for the guys, because of my age, I can get away with doing songs like that where the younger guys can't. That's what gives me the edge at radio, because I can set myself apart. I don't have to compete with, you know, the young studs in country music. I can do what I do, which is tell stories, and I think bring meaning to those stories.
Yeah. America today, I mean, there are so many different Americas. Which America do you live in, and which America do you like, and which America do you not like?
Well, I mean, I live in Atlanta, starting there. That's my location. And, you know, we're a very proud country who have, I guess, in the world scene, made some mistakes. I think we did it for the right reasons, but whether it was right or not, that's not my role to determine what we should do or not. I'm really totally apolitical. I back
a lot
the
of
president.
singers get out there and they make political points, and
I think that's okay if you do it when you're not charging someone to come see your show.
Okay.
But if someone pays to see a show, they don't care what my political point of view is. They want to hear Ruby and the Gambler and Coward of the County. So I just have this thing.
To have an album like you have, a very successful album, you know, are you still surprised when you find yourself in the charts at this stage, having done it so many times, and here we go again? Are you nervous when you put a record out?
I'm not nervous, because I don't care as much, you know. And I have a friend who's a psychologist, and we were having dinner one night, and I told him that it really bothered me that success was no longer important to me. And he said an interesting thing happens to men as they get older, particularly if they've been successful. He said you stop striving for success, and you start striving for significance. And he said it's a wonderful place to be in your life. So when we put this album together, one of the things we wanted to do was find songs like Water and Bridges and The Last 10 Years, which is really a wonderful thing of a collection of events that have happened in the last 10 years and people that have died.
And it's called Superman, isn't it?
Well, it talks about Christopher Reeves, Superman.
And it's kind of, I felt, is dedicated to Christopher in a way.
It is, but I mean, there's a certain irony to the fact from the last 10 years, we actually lost Superman. I mean, what are the thoughts of that? You know?
Yeah. That's the underlying point.
Right.
That a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have died. A lot of things, like the telephone is gone and cellular has taken its place.
And what a fast-paced world we live in. We don't realize it sometimes, but everything grows concentrically. One little thing happens, and then 100 things from that happen. And if you just stop to analyze, the beauty to this song is it does chronicle some phenomenal events that have happened in the last 10 years.
Because I played it on radio during the week, and I got a lot of reaction to it. What about your own children, though, the twins? I mean, do you ever marvel at what they might see in their lifetime, you know, long after you've gone? Oh,
of course. I mean, I look at what's happened in my lifetime, and again, in the last 10 to 20 years, and it's hard to kind of remember where it was, but we were talking the other day, because someone asked me, said, what the last 10 years has changed the most for you? And it's not necessarily the most, but I just realized it's in the States, and I see some still here, you cannot find a telephone booth to go place a paid telephone. They just don't have them anymore.
Yeah, not needed anymore for most people. Anyway, Kenny, it's great having you on the show, and I want you to do a song from the new album. So if you get yourself organized, I'll tell the folks all about it.
Thanks,
Kenny
sir.
Rogers, thank you so much. Thank you.